Hello and welcome to your daily dose of Satoshi's news. Today's date is Tuesday the 2nd of June 2026, the year of green wigs and BSV Terranode in the mix. Branch of threads expand your mind with treechat.ai. All your posts put on chain. Alright, let's see what we've got today. So some posts to go over on my feed, which is I'm looking forward to. Some from CSW here. Looking forward to reading that one. I've got to talk about Michael Saylor selling his Bitcoin, even though he said you never sell your Bitcoin. This is about the Belgian government literally trying to tax unrealized profits. Absolutely ridiculous. We talk about Bitcoin, the movie, reactions to Michael Saylor selling his 32 Bitcoin, which were quite funny. Yeah, have a look at some tree chat. I just put this video on there, and Butternuts has just sent me this. This is a KeyChat Pro, where they said if you don't put your messages on chain, or if you don't secure your own messages, somebody else will. If you don't value your own messages, somebody else will value them for you. They've literally just created this. This looks absolutely mint. So we'll talk about that. Finally, some private messaging on chain. So not going through a private corporate server like Google, Amazon, Facebook, or anything like that. That looks ace. Yeah, we've got. We'll have a look at this article here from Cointelegraph about the BTC price dipping under 70k. This was the BSV Times. Doug Lyon, Bitcoin adds North American rights. Watch after Khan's, loving that. Then we'll have a look at the figures. Oh, look at this. Great coin down at $67,000. B crashed under 300. Woof. But look at that. Bitcoin still leading the charts. So we'll have a look at the figures, see what's going on there. Look at this. Look at that. Can you believe that? When did we ever see a line as strong as that against BTC? Like, just incredible what's happening at the moment. We've got some 365 days of Bitcoin history, and then we'll finish with the calendar countdown. When I want to get there, right? Let's get into it.
Craig says he's Satoshi, like a cowboy in the West, riding on the blockchain that they call the very best. 1 million strong, the transactions flying free. He's acclaiming his legacy, you'll surely see.
Alrighty, here we go. So let's start off with this one from CSW. He said, there is no platform today that creates what I am releasing. Not Ethereum, not BTC, not Solana, not any so-called NFT marketplace. What people call an NFT today is usually a pointer, a receipt, or a decorative database entry. The underlying image, book, document, or file is copied endlessly. Ownership changes in name only. Possession does not. That is not scarcity. I'm releasing a system for encrypted digital goods that are actually transferable. An image, a book, a document, a contract, a financial instrument. When Alice transfers the asset to Bob, Bob receives access and Alice loses it. The system is designed so that the asset is not merely duplicated with a new label attached, it is transferred. That is the difference. This creates truly scarce digital goods, encrypted, transferable, auditable, and tied to Bitcoin. Until now, digital assets have mostly been a theatre, a stage prop, pretending to be property. This is different. This is digital property with possession. Wow, that's huge. He said one reason the code is going on GitHub is simple. I do not want... Oh, that page doesn't exist. Maybe I've taken that one down, but yeah... CSW releasing some fantastic stuff at the moment. Looking forward to getting into more of that. Let's talk about this. So Alex as Nakamoto has said here, people are overthinking, or according to Michael Saylor, overthinking him selling his 32 Bitcoin. Well, let's see what that was all about. He said, why sell? Why not just buy less next week? This is bearish. Well, let's see if we can see that.
But there's been a bit of confusion in the market about where the dividends come from, how do we pay the dividend? And for most of the history of the instrument, we sold common equity, MSTR equity, to pay the dividend. MSTR equity is a derivative of Bitcoin. It normally trades at a premium to Bitcoin. And so we were selling a Bitcoin derivative. But some people worried that we wouldn't be able to sell the equity in the future. And then there are short narratives that we have to sell the equity. And then there are other narratives that the company won't sell its Bitcoin, and that kind of metastasized to Well, if they're not going to sell their Bitcoin, it must not have any value, and they can never sell it. And if they can't sell it, then we can't count the Bitcoin as an asset on the balance sheet. So if you had $65 billion worth of something and people wanted to value it at zero, it's not very good, right? We don't want the credit rating agencies to think the company has $0 of assets. We want the credit rating agencies to think we have $65 billion of assets. And, there are also trolls on the internet that continually complain that this is a Ponzi scheme because we sell equity in order to fund a preferred dividend. Well, what we want to do is we want to reinforce the business model is we sell credit to make a capital investment in an asset, Bitcoin, digital capital. The capital investment accretes over time faster than the dividend. We then monetize the capital gain and we pay the dividend. We think that the best way to punctuate this, to make it very clear, is to make the point that the company doesn't have to sell common stock ever. We can simply sell highly appreciated Bitcoin in order to pay a dividend. And if we do that, you're capturing a capital gain to pay a credit dividend. I think the analogy is like a real estate development company raises capital by issuing a credit instrument, buys land at $10,000 an acre, develops it, it's worth $100,000 an acre, and then they monetize that capital appreciation. You could sell the land at $100,000 an acre. You could rent the land after you fully developed it. You could refinance the land. But nobody questions a real estate development company that makes a capital investment with a credit income. What we're doing is the same thing with Bitcoin, and we want to make sure that the market understands that.
Yeah, all right, mate. I heard a lot of waffle in that. You know, the fact is you shouldn't be ever selling your Bitcoin. Hodl, hodl, hodl. Oh, yeah, that's right. You hodl and we'll just sell. Yeah, all right, mate. As we've got here, never sell your Bitcoin. Oh, that's right. Never sell your Bitcoin.
But there's been a bit of confusion in the market.
Unless you need to pay dividends to your clients because it hasn't gone up. Like, oh my goodness me, everybody knows what's going to happen. The tale of woe. And talking about a tale of woe, this was Neil Oliver. And Susan Delaney has said here, believe it or not, a form of this government robbery already exists in Ireland. We already have a highly controversial specific tax on unrealised gains. That's insane. This existing mechanism is known as the deemed disposable regime. Oh, no, honestly, anyway, have a listen to Neil here. It is absolutely insane. Here we go.
Have you seen what's happened or what's been attempted in the Netherlands? You may or may not be aware of this. It's difficult. It's kind of been backed off a little bit at the moment because what the government there wants to do has been severely criticised. But basically, as of 2026, the plan by the government in the Netherlands is to tax what they call unrealised gains, the on-paper profits that exist on assets, right? So I mentioned vintage car. Let's imagine you bought a Porsche sports car and you stuck it in the garage, and it's still in your garage, and you paid £80,000 for it, and this year, because of the market, it's now worth £100,000. Although you haven't sold it, the Dutch government would want to come after 36% tax on that £20,000 increase in the value of your asset. They want to come back the following year and do the same, in the certainty that in order to pay those tax bills, most people would have to sell something. They would have to liquidize the asset somewhere to generate the tax to pay for the unrealized gain. That's what the Dutch government wants to do. Now, that's in a kind of a holding position at the moment because of the backlash, but you can bet it's coming, and you can bet the Netherlands is just a test case. That the European Union will be watching that, because what the European Union wants to do is to seize your assets. Full stop. They want to take anything you have. They want to take it from you because you don't matter. You don't matter. What you think is yours is theirs.
He's absolutely spot on there. It's absolutely ridiculous. So, right, suddenly I've got to pay like, what, £60,000 tax, and that goes to property as well. So you'd have to sell it to pay the tax, even though it's not realised. So, obviously, the law demands equity. So, equity is that. All we need to do is claim back all of our unrealised inflationary losses on the currency they print from nothing. And the law demands equity on that. That's what we'd have to do. But anyway, I mean, it's just absolutely insane what's going on. But I wonder how much the sheeple, even those who are wealthy, are actually going to put up with before they're like, oh, hold on a minute, that doesn't quite seem fair. Yeah, I wonder why. Anyway, let's look at this. The conspiracy bot says this is why you're paying more for so many things. $100 bills being printed non-stop while your purchasing power shrinks. Prices are not rising. The currency is falling. Inflation is a tax you never voted for. Gold and silver are telling the truth. But even I said to this, you cannot print $16 trillion in just 2 months, which is precisely what they did right here. For those who haven't seen this before, look. So you want to know what the 2008 financial crisis was? Right there. That little blip that you can hardly see. That little blip is the billions that they printed that people were losing their shit over in 2008. And this is what happened in This is all the world reserve currency in the world. And look at that. $16 trillion in just a couple of months. From February to June. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Like, my God. But you wouldn't be able to print that amount. You wouldn't be able to print that amount of currency. They literally just adding zeros. You know, loads and loads of zeros. It's absolutely insane what's going on. But yeah, talking about other insanities that's going on. Isaac said here, imagine how horrible you have to be as a human being to vote against investigating the mass rape of girls. That's the Labour Party. Absolutely disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. And Rogue here said, and it all started with him. Yeah, look at this, the replacement of British workers. Legal net migration running at 745,000 in 2023, 6,230 new homes needed every week. Yeah. You know, we know what's going on. Anybody who's been awake for the last 6 years certainly knows. Let's get into this article here by Doug from BSV Times. Doug Lyman's Bitcoin adds North American rights. Watch Cannes after festival. Or watch after Cannes. Here we go. Oh, looking forward to this. So Doug Lyman's feature film Bitcoin, formerly known as Killing Satoshi, has moved into a stronger post-Cannes distribution watch phase. After confirmed territory sales through sales company 193, the newest useful update is that Warner Bros. Clockwork has reportedly been in exclusive talks to acquire North American rights to the film. According to Screen Daily's Cannes market coverage, Warner Bros. Clockwork remained in exclusive talks with Patrick Washerberger 193 to acquire North American rights to Doug Lyman's Bitcoin, alongside Park Chan-woo's The Brighands of Route Creek. The wording matters. This is not yet a confirmed acquisition, but is more of a serious signal than general buyer interest. The update follows earlier Cannes sales reports that Sun Distribution took rights to Bitcoin for Latin America, Spain and South Africa. That gave the project its first clear commercial footing after weeks of coverage around AI production, buyer curiosity and Cannes market positioning. The broader project file remains unusual. Bitcoin stars Casey Affleck, Pete Davidson, Gal Gadot and Isla Fisher, with Affleck reported as playing Craig Wright. Earlier coverage positioned the film as Doug Lyman thriller heading to Cannes market, while The Wrap described it as a $70 million AI-heavy production seeking distribution. BSV Times editorial read, the May 31st update changed to the watch status again. Bitcoin is no longer only a Cannes curiosity and is no longer only a territory sale item. It is now also a North American rights watch. The careful reading is important. A Warner Bros. Clockwork deal has not been publicly confirmed in the sources checked, but exclusive talks suggest that the film may be moving towards a much more visible distribution pathway if those talks close. BSV Times takeaway, Doug Limer's Bitcoin now has 2 commercial signals after Khan's confirmed Sun distribution territory rights for Latin America, Spain and South Africa, and reported Warner Bros. Clockwork exclusive talks for North American rights. The next milestone remains a complete North American deal, trailer, release date, festival slot, or wider distribution announcement. Oh, I cannot wait. Cannot wait for that. I think that's going to be ace. Mint. Absolutely mint. Absolutely mint. Right then, I've literally just posted this on my YouTube channel. Let's have a watch of this now. It looks really quite funny.
Michael Saylor sold 32 Bitcoin this morning? Bitcoin's down to $71,000. I thought you'd never sell your Bitcoin, Michael. I thought you'd never sell Bitcoin. I thought Bitcoin's going up forever. Well, it's not going up forever when you're selling it on my face. I sold my hyperliquid to my MicroStrategy. You piece of shit. What's hyperliquid at? Oh! Michael Saylor, you criminal. You told me to buy this shit and now it's going down. I put my life savings into this bullshit. The stock market's going up forever while MicroStrategy keeps going down along with my entire net worth. You piece of shit.
Should I say I know the feeling, having been there and done that, being in BSV, like, oh my goodness me, like heartbreaking. But like these douchebags in these shitcoins, they've got it all to come. They've not experienced it before. They were telling us we were crazy. We've had to deal with it and live through it. Like, oh my goodness me. So there we go. That's what it looks like on Tree Chat. Loving this. Look, there we go. And you can play it literally as if it's on YouTube on Tree Chat. Loving it.
Michael Saylor sold 32 Bitcoin this morning? Bitcoin's down to $71,000. I thought you'd never sell your Bitcoin, Michael. I thought you'd never sell Bitcoin.
But that's ace. Look, you can just watch. You can literally, it's a one-stop platform. You can watch YouTube videos on Tree Chat through the post. It looks ace. It looks ace. Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to jumping into Tree Chat and start using it to produce videos and marketing material and all sorts. Loving that. Loving that. Right, and I've just been sent this through. So this is KeyChat Pro. So I've just added a contact. It said add a contact by searching their registered username. How the intro works: sending an intro costs a 2.5 compute. 2.25 of that goes to the recipient. 0.25 is the cost of the message on chain. If they accept, their acceptance pays 2.25 compute back to you. So the net cost per side is just a 0.25 compute, one message each. If they reject, they keep the 2.25 compute and you're out a 2.25 compute per future intro. This is the spam barrier. An unwanted message costs the sender real money and funds the recipient. Hey, great stuff. Great stuff. Let's get onto this. So Cointelegraph has said Bitcoin price falls under 70k as crypto market liquidates 800 million. Gregcoin fell to fresh 2-month lows as BTC price weakens, accelerated, and analysis targeted its 200-day moving average trend line. Gregcoin trading below $70,000 for the first time in 2 months on Tuesday as sellers stayed in control. Key points, so BTC dropped under $70,000. Analysis sees 200-day trend line coming back. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Stocks continue to post record highs while crypto stays bearish on US-Iran events. So yeah, that's what BTC has done. Yep, loving that. But yeah, it's heating up out there. Stocks are surging. BTC's going down. Oh dear. Let's have a quick look at the figures though. Gregcoin $67,000. Bcrash under 300, so $283. Fisher price cash, who cares? And Bitcoin at $14 or $14.36 top left. Hash rate 0.03 going up a little bit. Network nodes 0.17. Transactions though 78% of all the Bitcoin forks here, and 69% of the block size. Blocks coming through. They've got 15 megabyte block there, 10, 16. So more data in those 3 blocks than the entire column over on that $1.5 trillion market cap, which is a Gregcoin over there. It's currently 74,000 times cheaper to transact on Bitcoin than Gregcoin. Oh, look at that. It is level pegging in terms of profitability on the chain. So we've got a coin at $67,000 and another one at $14. Literally $14 compared to 67,000, and the profitability is literally the same. How crazy is that? Let's have a look at the politics in the pie charts then. Here we go. Global hash rate, 7 days, 24 hours. Gregcoin hash rate. Other miners 4.68, Foundry USA pool 27.08, Ant pool 18.7, F2 pool 15.28. B Crash, other miners are 34.7, Fisher Price Cash, who cares? Oh, other mining pools are 12.5 on there. Let's have a look at the profitability on that one then. 4.1% more profitable to mine on Fisher Price Cash. And we'll have to have a look at what's on chain to see the figures here for the mining. Mining stats, 24 hours will do. Mining Dutch in the lead, 24%. 24%. Tal, 20.6. SA100, 11.3. Gorilla Pool, 11.3. QD Link, 11.3. Kuv, 10. Tal Terranode, 8. Molepool 2% and Cryptex 1.3. Dashboard, let's have a look at the transactions. 2.1 million transactions over the last 24 hours. The op return, 2.1 million op return transactions. Oh wow. Let's compare that to BitInfo charts then. 2.2, refresh that. 2.3 million transactions according to BitInfo charts. Leading a $2.3 trillion market in terms of utility and transaction volume. Absolutely amazing look ahead of Gregcoin, $1.5 trillion, Ethereum, almost $300 billion, XRP, $88 billion. And here it is, just like 300 million market cap. Smashing the big dogs, absolutely crazy. Let's have a look at the price then. Bitcoin versus Gregcoin. Look at that. I've not seen a trend line that strong for a long time. A long time. I mean, that looks crazy. Even on 3 hours. Yeah, look at that. Straight up. Straight up. A BTC taking a nosedive. BCH taking a nosedive. What does BSV look like? Oh, look at that. Yeah, actually on its way up. That's crazy. That is crazy. Things might be changing, people. Who knows? Get your popcorn ready. Overall market then. Yeah, $2.2 trillion. Gregcoin, $1.3 trillion. That's $67,000. 24-hour low is $66,000. $66,550. 24-hour high, 71. But yeah, on its way down. Absolutely tanking. Look at that. Wow. Any sign of recovery? Well, you know what? It's usually Tether that's defending the price, and Tether is not defending the price here at all. So let's have a look at this. Look at the market cap. Look at that. Look. That went from 189.3 billion to 188.2 billion. So that's $1.1 billion. $1.1 billion and more. It's carried on. Down to 187.9. Whoa. Whoa. Almost like $1.5 billion. $1.5 billion. And just not defending it. Not defending the price at all. So I suggest this might be tactic, because the cabal just don't want fingers to be pointed at them for the market to be crashing. So they're going to make it look like, oh, it was just natural demand. They're probably going to pin it on Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor and all these other Bitcoin treasury companies that are suddenly going to have to be forced and liquidated. And they're going to make it worse by actually burning Tether. That's what it looks like to me. I think they're going to hang Michael Saylor out to dry. Like literally the Bitcoin treasury companies. And then, because Michael Saylor has no idea that it's just purely Tether that's pumping the market. So Tether is not available, not defending it, and Michael Saylor's having to sell, being margin called. That's what I think they're doing, because they don't want the finger of blame pointed at them. It's going to be on Michael Saylor. Oof. Jeepers. That's what it looks like is happening. Anyway, going back to yesterday, 1st of June, didn't read this one. So 1st of June 2011 was when Gawker publishes an article about the Silk Road titled "The Underground Website Where You Can Buy Any Drug Imaginable." Adrian Chen's piece on Gawker is as proactive as it is popular. To many people reading it, the sudden realization that Bitcoin has a useful value, one that's entirely unique, hits home. With a link to Mt. Gox in the text, the article starts an enormous upswing in price that beats all previous records, reaching over $31 per Bitcoin just 1 week after publication. Wow, but that website doesn't exist anymore. Look at that. They're trying to hide all the history. Gutted. 2nd of June 2010. Looks like host names instead of IP addresses. That's what Satoshi Nakamoto was talking about in 2010. Yeah, host names instead of IP addresses. That's what we want. And the 2nd of June 2023 at the London Blockchain Conference, we learned from Jake Jones that with the implementation of Terranode, BSV will no longer operate with a memory pool. No way. Here we go.
Good morning. How's everybody doing this morning?
And the trickiest part to split into microservices and to have scale horizontally was the mempool, right?
I don't want to get too deep into the details, but there is no mempool anymore.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, where is the mempool? So
Yeah.
there's no mempool anymore.
No more mempool.
But we have a different concept then.
Right.
All right. Looking forward to learn more about that.
Cheers. Thanks.
Well, that was massive. He had a cheeky grin on his face there because he knew he was revealing a secret. Absolutely amazing. Right. Well, let's see what else we got. Yeah, so that was 365 days of Bitcoin history. Yeah, loving that. Right. We're at the Kellenschweller countdown. We're on the 2nd of June, day 257. When's it going to finish? It's getting spicy. You're going to have to stay tuned to find out. It's going to be absolutely epic. So until then, be aware, take care, stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next one.
I understand.
Do you?
Do you? This is it. I'm telling you, this is it.
The king still has one more move.